She was the only survivor of a plane crash that killed her parents, her sister, and her cousin.
Probably remember this story. Now that brave young girl is on the road to recovery with the help of her tiny Illinois community. George Howell has her story.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since that fatal plane crash that left a little girl without her family. Felt worst here in the heart of the Midwest, the loss of Marty, Kimberly, Piper Gutzler, and her cousin Sierra Wilder, their funerals fresh in the minds of many. But there was one survivor, 7-year-old Sailor Gutzler.
We're all rallying around her. We're praying for her as a church.
For the pastor of this church, who oversaw the family's funerals, Matthew Wheatfeld remembers vividly the feeling of seeing young Sailor sitting in a pew in front of him.
My heart's broken for her as a father myself, and knowing how I would feel if one of my girls was going through this as well. But again, we rejoice that she did survive.
Looking at the wreckage, it's hard to imagine anyone could have survived, but somehow Sailor Gutzler did. She managed to make her way through the dark of night, clearing through nearly a mile of brush and trees in order to find help. First responders in Kentucky came together to talk about the crash. Lieutenant Brent White with the Kentucky State Police was the second person on the scene that night. He just recently got a chance to see the 7-year-old for the first time to return her personal belongings.
We were glad to see that she was up and about. She had a St. Louis Cardinal red cast on her arm, and she's just an amazing little girl with a loving family, and they're just surrounding her, trying to support her at this time.
You won't find memorials or the telltale signs of mourning on the streets of Nashville, Illinois. Folks here say it's out of respect for Sailor and her family, as this community focuses more on healing to help Sailor move forward. But beneath the surface, the emotions run deep. At the school that Sailor attended with her sister, the superintendent is offering support for students and staff coping with great loss at what many here are calling a miracle.
There's just a lot of questions, and I think there still will be for months and maybe years to come. It's something that we as adults can't explain, much less kids, and we're just doing a lot of listening right now and working through whatever we need to work through, and we'll get through it. It's just going to be a long process.
And that's what you hear from so many people in Nashville, that we'll all get through it, and that despite her loss, Sailor's surrounding family has grown.
Such an incredible loss.
Yeah, it's such a bittersweet story in that obviously a miracle that she survived, but having lost an entire family in the process.
Keeping her in our thoughts and prayers, that's for sure.